Have you ever thought about why older people seem to drift away from you? Perhaps some friends stop calling as frequently, family members stop visiting like they used to, or invitations to social events stop coming. If you feel like you're being left behind, it can be frustrating or even painful. But there are real reasons for this. And the good news is that you can change many of them. We'll look at 6 main reasons why people leave you as you get older in this video. These things don't just happen by chance. They're habits, ways of acting, and ways of thinking that can turn people off, and you might not even be aware of it. But once you know what they are, you can make changes that will not only make your relationship stronger, but also help you keep important ones for years to come. Watch all the way to the end. Some of these reasons might surprise you. More importantly, we'll talk about what you can do to avoid these problems and keep your relationships with the people that matter the most strong and lasting. Stay with me if you've ever felt like people were leaving your life. This might change how you see things. Before we start, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button. You won't miss a video that way. Please rate the video with a like if you liked it and a 0 if you didn't like it in the comments. Thanks for your ideas. It will help me make better videos for you. We can start now. Number 1, not working on your own growth. When someone stops growing mentally, emotionally, or socially, that's one of the main reasons why older people start to pull away. It's easier to connect with someone who stops looking for new experiences, doesn't want to learn, or won't adapt. But a man who keeps changing, learning, and interacting with the world is still interesting and relatable. In reality, people are drawn to active people of all ages. When you talk to someone who is interested, willing to learn, and always looking for new things, the conversation feels new and interesting. A person who only talks about the past, won't try anything new, or shuts down new ideas, on the other hand, makes interactions feel repetitive and even tiring. People might not leave all at once, but they might start to reach out less and less over time. It's not enough to read books or start new hobbies to grow. You need to keep your mind active by asking questions and being interested in the world around you. People will notice when you stop doing that. When someone is open to new ideas, ready to talk, and eager to learn, they create an energy that makes other people want to be around them. But when someone closes off, that energy goes away, and some relationships go with it. Take 2 older men as an example. One of them stays engaged. He wants to know about new technologies, watches interesting documentaries, talks about books, and likes to learn from younger people. People like to talk to the one who says, "I don't understand all that stuff," or "Things were better in my day." Which one do you think ends up at more events, gets more calls, and keeps more relationships going? It's easy to get stuck in habits that make us feel good, especially as we get older. But you can choose to stay involved in life. People will react differently to you if you keep an open mind, are curious, and are willing to learn new things. You don't have to know about every new trend or piece of technology. People will want to keep you in their lives if you keep changing. If you stop changing, they may feel like they're moving forward while you're staying the same. It's never too late to change. That's the good news. People are drawn to people who keep moving forward, not those who stay stuck in place. So whether you try a new skill, read something outside of your comfort zone, or just ask more questions in conversations, making an effort to grow will keep you connected. The second is being too negative or complaining all the time. Being negative all the time turns people off faster than anything else. People might not want to be around you if you're always complaining about your health, the younger generation, the government, or how things used to be better. Although you may not see it as negativity, but rather as expressing your honest thoughts to others, it can feel exhausting to be around someone who always sees the worst in every situation. Just think about how you feel when you're with someone who is always unhappy with something. It could be a family member who always talks about how hurt they are, a friend who only talks about bad things, or someone who always has something negative to say. Over time, those conversations wear people down, and they start calling and visiting less and less until they eventually stop. This doesn't mean you should never talk about your problems, though. Everyone has problems, and it's good to share them with people you trust. A balance is what makes them different. People who care about you might not want to reach out to you if all you talk about are your problems, hurts, regrets, or complaints. To spend time with someone, You need to be around people who make you feel good and who can find the good in life even when things are bad. It's not necessary to fake happiness, but changing your thoughts to focus on things like gratitude, curiosity, and even humor can make a big difference in how other people see you. Folks will want to spend more time with you if you choose to talk about the good things in their lives, share stories that make them laugh instead of making them angry, and highlight the good feelings. Imagine two older men at a family gathering. One of them complains the whole time about his back, the traffic, and how young people today don't respect older people. One tells a funny story, checks in to see how everyone is, and finds something good to say about the event. Which one do you think people will want to sit next to? Is it likely that more people will invite that one in the future? There is no doubt about the answer. Your energy spreads and people are drawn to those who make things brighter, not those who make things darker. So if you've noticed that people are pulling away from you, think about the energy you bring to conversations. Are you someone who brings warmth, interest, and connection to the world? Or do you tend to only see the bad? People will react very differently to you if you change a small part of how you talk about life. If you still bring happiness into the world, people will always want to be around you. Third, not taking care of relationships. Friendships, family ties, and social connections all need work to stay strong. One of the main reasons people start to drift apart as they get older is that they feel like their relationship has become one-sided. People might be turning away from you without even realizing it if you expect them to reach out first, make plans, or check in. Think about the people you know. When was the last time you were the one to reach out? When was the last time you called a friend to see how they were doing, sent a thoughtful message, or asked someone to hang out? A lot of people think that if someone cares, they'll always put in the effort, but relationships end when they aren't taken care of. People stop trying if they feel like they have to do everything all the time. Showing people that you care about them is what this is all about, not making big moves. Many times, a simple text, call, or invite to coffee can make a big difference. It lets people know that you value having them in your life. Over time, someone may start to feel like the relationship isn't worth maintaining if they only hear from you when you need something, or when they're the only one putting in the effort. Imagine two older men. One of them calls friends and family often to see how they're doing and shows interest in their lives. Most of the time, the other person only calls when he needs something or has something bad to say. Which one do you think people will want to use to stay in touch? It's easy to see the answer. It's important to remember that it's never too late to make connections again. People want to feel valued, not like they're being taken for granted. Start small if you realize you haven't been in touch in a while. A quick phone call, a kind message, or even just remembering little things about their life and bringing them up the next time you talk can show that you care. The key is to be consistent. People who know you're thinking about them will want to stay in your life, even if you don't talk to them all the time. Are you wondering why some people are drifting away from you? Ask yourself, have I been putting in the work, or have I been waiting for others to do all the work? The more you put into your relationships, the stronger they will become, and people will always want to be a part of your life if they know you care about them. Number 4, not being willing to change. Life is always changing, and the people who stay in touch, involved and socially active, are often the ones who welcome it instead of fighting it. As people get older, one of the main reasons they start to pull away is when someone is too set in their ways and doesn't want to understand how the world is changing or accept new ideas. People may slowly start to disappear from your life if they feel like they can't have deep conversations with you because you don't care about their points of view. Just think about how different things were 20 or 30 years ago from now. Social norms and the way people talk to each other have changed, and technology is now a part of everyday life. Text messages, video calls, and social media are how younger generations stay in touch. People over 65 often have trouble with these changes, not because they can't, but because they don't want to. People say things like, "I don't get all that stuff," or "Back in my day, things were better." It's normal to miss the good old days, but shutting down new ways of thinking can make it harder for people to connect with you. This is true for all kinds of things, not just technology. People see relationships, jobs, and even everyday life in a different way now. It makes people less accepting of younger people, new ideas, and the fact that times have changed when someone constantly criticizes them. People, especially family and younger friends, may feel like you argue with them more than share your ideas when you talk to them, and this can cause them to grow apart over time. This doesn't mean you have to agree with everyone or change everything about yourself all of a sudden. It just means you should stay interested, ask questions instead of shutting things down, and be ready to learn, even if it's just the basics of how young people talk to each other. Some people may feel like they're speaking a different language around you if you don't change. Eventually, they may stop trying to connect with you at all. Imagine two older men with their grandchildren. One of them doesn't care about their interests, won't try new things, and is always talking about how things were better in the past. The other person just listens and asks about their life. They even try to get involved with the things that matter to them. What group do you think young people will naturally want to hang out with? It can be hard to deal with change, but it has to happen. A flexible, open-minded, and willing to adapt person is likely to keep in touch with people well into old age. You don't have to know everything about every new trend or point of view, but people will keep you in their lives if you show that you're willing to learn. Number 5, depending on other people too much. Balance is important in relationships, but it can be hard for everyone when one person always takes without giving back, whether it's emotionally, financially, or physically. As we get older, it's normal to need help now and then. But if you depend on others too much without thinking about what they need, it could be driving them away. People want to help the people they care about, but if helping them feels like a duty instead of a choice, they might start to pull away. What about the people in your life? Do you depend on them for things you used to do, not need their help? It could be that they ask for help too often, expect their family to always take care of things, or depend on others for emotional support without giving anything in return. Having people you can count on is important, but relationships should never feel like they're only good for one person. When someone feels like they are always giving and not getting anything in return, they may start to pull away. This is true not only for financial or physical support, but also for emotional support. If you only talk about your problems, needs, or struggles without taking into account what the other person is going through, they may start to withdraw. Not only do people need to be with someone, they also want to feel valued. This doesn't mean you should never ask for help, but you should also know when to say no. Small things like being self-sufficient, doing what you can by yourself, being thankful, and looking for ways to give back can help you keep relationships strong. People want to help those who also do something, even if it's just a little. Imagine two older men. One always asks his family for help, but he never thanks them or gives anything back, and he thinks they'll always be there for him. The other person appreciates the help he gets, tries to do what he can, and looks for ways to contribute, whether it's by giving advice, sharing knowledge, or just being there for the other person emotionally. For which one do you think people will keep coming? If you see people pulling away, take a moment to think about yourself. Am I giving as much as I take? Do I show appreciation for what others do? Do I try to handle what I can on my own? Making small changes, like thanking others, finding small ways to help others, or just checking in on their needs, can make a big difference in keeping people close. When people feel valued and appreciated, they will always want to be a part of your life. 6th, holding on to anger and not being able to forgive. Few things drive people away faster than anger that hasn't been dealt with. We tend to hold on to disappointments, old arguments, betrayals, and times when we felt wronged as we get older. But when we refuse to let go of those feelings, they hurt us and make other people avoid us. People don't want to be around someone who holds a grudge, brings up old hurts all the time, or won't forgive. A relationship with that kind of energy can feel heavy over time, and people may decide to end the relationship rather than carry that weight. Think about the people you're close to. Have you cut ties with some because you thought they hurt you? Do you often think about old fights and feel angry at family members or old friends who did something wrong? It's normal to feel hurt, but it's a problem when that hurt makes it impossible for you to connect with other people. People may not always understand why you've pulled away, but when they do, they stop trying to fix things because they know you won't let go no matter what. And here's the truth. Holding on to anger doesn't punish the other person. It punishes you. It keeps you stuck in the past while everyone else moves on. And if people think that every conversation with you might bring up old grudges, They might stop trying to connect with you altogether. That's not what anyone wants, and if someone feels like they'll never be fully forgiven, they might decide to take a step back instead. Think about two older men with their families. One has learned to let go of small fights and focus on the present and the time he spends with his family. Some people still talk about fights that happened years ago to make sure that everyone knows he hasn't forgotten. Which one do you think people will want to hang out with? Forgiving someone doesn't mean denying that something happened. It means letting go of the weight of it. It has to do with picking peace over anger and valuing relationships over mistakes. If you've been holding on to anger or disappointment, ask yourself, is this helping me or is it pushing people away? Because making the choice to forgive and move on not only keeps people in your life, it also makes your own life more peaceful. As we come to the end of this video, please take a moment to think about these 6 reasons. Do any of them sound like names you know? Don't take this as criticism if you are, but as an opportunity, because being alone in old age isn't a given. You can change many of the things that make people want to stay away from you. When you start making small changes, like reaching out more, letting go of anger, or choosing to keep an open mind, you may find that people start coming back into your life. Being attractive isn't just about how you look, and relationships aren't just about how long you've been together. It's about how you make other people feel and how hard you work to stay in touch. The good news is that these traits don't get worse with age. There will always be people who want to be with you if you keep interested in other people, live your life, and treat others with kindness and understanding. Ask yourself, what can I do to make them want to stay? Instead of, why do they leave? Because you still have the power to make and keep strong relationships. You can reconnect, reach out, and build a life full of meaningful relationships at any age. In fact, the more work you put into keeping the right people close, the better your later years will be. Leave your thoughts in the comments if you like this video. I love reading about your ideas and experiences. Thanks for being here today. Tell us what you learned today and how you're going to use it in the comments below. Don't be afraid to tell us what you think. Reading your comments makes us feel very motivated and boosted. If you like this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it. Thanks for your help, so we can keep making useful content for you to learn from and get ideas from. Thanks for seeing. Watch out for the next video.